Well, hello everyone and welcome to post the Diwali video. I hope you ate all the foods, all the burfi, all the mithais, blew up all the crackers. But now it's time for work. Time to get back to work, Sonny. So today's video, man, wow. I don't know where to start. This is actually the second time I'm trying to record the first part of this video, just the first part. Because I'm like, really, how do I present this? You know, even it took me like, from the time I decided to do this video, it took me literally a week to really see how do I present this video, which does not put fear into people, does not scare people, but also gives people the knowledge that they need. It's necessary to really fine-tune your predictions and to, to make the analysis. I hate the word predictions. To make the analysis of the upcoming planetary motions. Okay. And I'll tell you like why I feel this way and why, Ashtakavarga, I've been laying off of Ashtakavarga since I started, my journey in astrology, especially on YouTube itself. But first, I just want to thank my Ashtakavarga guru, Marc Boney, the man who really simplified Ashtakavarga for me. All the, doubts, all the controversies that were lingering in my head about Ashtakavarga, he cleared it. So big shout out to Marc Boney. Give it up. And he's my Gemini guru as well. So, Now, why is it that Ashtakavarga is something that I've been very reluctant to make a video on and to share? Is because Ashtakavarga is this one part that when you find out, see, Ashtakavarga simply is a score system given to the signs in your birth chart. So let's say if you are an Aries ascendant, Aries rules the first house, Taurus rules the second house, Gemini rules the third house, Cancer rules the fourth house, right? Each sign in your chart, which is controlling a certain house, is receiving a certain score. On the most basic level, A plus to F. Like you get scores in your classes in high school. Oh, you got an A plus. Oh, you got a B. C, huh? Okay. Oh, you got an F. Oh my God. That's what it represents. Ashtakavarga, according to me, is like the final signature given by the universe. That, okay, everything is good. That yoga is good. Okay, that alignment is there. The aspect is there. All right. Oh, there's the Ashtakavarga score. Okay, millionaire. Go, live your life. Oh, everything is perfect. And you get this signature. Billionaire. Go. Then you look at everything. Okay, this is there. That yoga is there. That. And also you've got that score. Penniless most of the life, may make a little bit of money here, but too bad, that's your karma. See you. That's what Ashtakavarga is. So this is why I always have said this in my private readings and to my private emails exchanged with people. But now I'm going to say it on the big scale that if you are sensitive, if you are psychologically, if you get affected a lot, when you look at negative things in astrology, don't watch this video. Simple. Don't watch it. Skip it over. Okay? Skip it over. Because when I saw my own Ashtakavarga scores, I was like screwed for like 2-3 years. I saw it back in 2004. From 2004 all the way to 6-7. I'm just like, oh no, I'm doomed. No wonder my life is so doomed. No wonder why nothing lasts. No relationship lasts. No career lasts. What's going on? And then I went deeper. In 2008 or 2009. 2009, I went deeper. And then I'm like, oh, so that is also Ashtakavarga. So I went to a little deeper level of Ashtakavarga. Then also what happens, and this is a very, very strong thing in case if you know your Ashtakavarga and you're like, oh my God, what type of karmas did I do? What type of deeds did I do to get this? Get a blessings of a guru. I have been the most fortunate person to get a blessings from a guru back in 2000, middle of 2010 or end of 2010. Was it end? 2011, man, my memory is just like so faded now. I received a blessing, and literally the next day, and believe me, I do not want to exaggerate on this one. The very next day, things just started happening for me. Everything just came together. I'm like, within 24 hours, this happened, and I'm making this money, and this is happening. Since that day, when I received those blessings, and he says, forget Ashtakavarga, forget the transit, forget yogas, do your right karam and you'll be fine. You can do astrology, whatever you want to do, just don't make negative predictions. Even if you see it, don't make it. Don't try to warn anybody, don't try to tell them this is what happened, this is going to happen 10 years from now. No, that's not your duty to do. That's them to find out. Let them find out. You just help them with their ultimate karma and help them to elevate beyond their problems, and you will be fine. Since that day, I made the decision I will never say anything negative in chart. No matter how much a person pushes me, oh, I've been through all the negative, tell me. I'm like, I don't care to tell you. Since you've been through such a negative thing, fine. I would love to tell you because I know you don't care, but for me, it's going to affect me if I do it. I don't want to be affected. No, thank you. I'm sorry. I ain't that big of a saint. I'm not even a saint. So no, I don't want that. So it's just my own selfishness, you can say, that I don't want to give any negative information. Maybe when I'm, 50, 60, I'll give it then, because then I won't really care for anything. So that's that. Get a blessings of a guru. And how do you know a guru is there in front of you? You will know it. Believe me, you will know it. Their vibration is so strong, you'll feel it on your forehead. That's how you know. A fake guru comes in front of you, you'll be like, okay, he's wearing the white or orange clothes, a long beard, got all the costume on, all right, yeah, sure, maybe not. But when you come across a real guru, he can be sitting 20 feet away from you, and you will know, this person is it. He could be sitting 100 feet away from you. You'll know that the vibrations will be coming to you. So please, before we get into this journey of Ashtakavarga, do not watch it if you're sensitive. Because this is the final signature on everything that is signed in your horoscope. But like I said, from Ashtakavarga score to your prarabdha karma, everything can be changed through the blessings of a guru. People say prarabdha karma is like a fallen fruit. It's already fallen. It's going to fall to the ground. So we're sorry. But guess what a guru will do? While it's falling in the air, guru will catch it and put it in his bag. That's the beauty of a guru. So, Ashtakavarga. What is Ashtakavarga? Ashtakavarga is known as the eightfold strength. There are 8 bodies used in the scoring system of your birth chart. And the scoring system is known as Sarvashtakavarga and Binashtakavarga. So the 8 bodies, let's talk about the 8 bodies. What are the 8 bodies? Well, that's actually your ascendant. So when you're born, you have an ascendant, right? Well, as soon as you're born, the ascendant says, I am here. Well, I'm going to give you scores to all your 12 signs in your chart, to all the 12 houses. So an ascendant, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These 8 bodies will give a score to all the 12 houses in your chart, or the 12 signs. Mainly it's the signs. And they will give a score from 0 to 8. Your first house can have a score of 0. Your first house can have a score of 8. 0 is really bad. 8 is excellent in the most basic of Ashtakavarga. 8 is actually no results, nothing. But it's also just considered bad. 8 is super good, super great. So what is the average? 4. 4 becomes the average. So if you have, let's say, 4 in your third house, it can show on a basic level that the relationship with the siblings is okay. It's nothing good, nothing bad. It's okay. You guys call each other for Christmas and Diwali, and you guys go to each other's birthday parties, but that's about it. You're not really hanging out every day. So let's say your third house has the score of 2 given by a certain planet. Well, the relationship is just down the toilet, right? So how am I coming up with these scores? So when you're born and ascendant gives a score from 0 to 8 to your third house, well, guess what? From Sun all the way to Saturn, these planets are giving a certain score to the third house. Saturn may give 2 points. Moon may give 8 points. Sun will give 4 points. Jupiter will give 3 points. So each house is receiving a certain score from any of these 8 bodies. Now, when you add up all the 8 points given to the third house by these 8 bodies, is known as Samudaya Ashtakavarga. And that Ashtakavarga score will be showing an accumulated score. So let's say your third house received all the points given by all the 8 planets. And the total point, and when you add those 3s and 4s and 5s by all these 8 bodies, comes to 22. Okay? Now, in such way, 28 is the average. If you have a 28 points in your third house, you're not a coward. You're not too brave either. You're okay. If a situation comes, you will deal with it. Your relationship with the siblings overall, it's okay. It's nothing bad, nothing good. Just like I was giving the analogy earlier with the Christmas and Diwali, greetings. But let's say your total accumulation in the third house is 21. Well, that's below 28, below average. Well, that can show us that the relationship is like, well, you don't even call each other on Christmas or Diwali. Forget even meeting each other. So remember, 4 is the average on an individual basis. So any planet, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, will always give anywhere from 0 to 8 points to your birth chart. And any house, every house will receive a certain score. There are 12 houses in astrology. Each of those 12 houses will receive some scores, 0 to 8. But then when we accumulate all the scores from each house, those become Samudaya Ashtakavarga. The individual scores are known as Vinashtakavarga. So if your Sun is giving 3 points to the 7th house, that 3 points given by Sun is a Vinashtakavarga score. But all the planets then giving the score to the 7th house, and you add those 8 points up, 8 different numbers up, and that comes out to, let's say, 30. That's known as Sarvashtakavarga, Samudaya Ashtakavarga. So very simple. Vinashtakavarga, individual points. Samudaya Sarvashtakavarga, accumulated points. That's Ashtakavarga on a basic scale. Now let's go a little deeper. Because from ascendant all the way to Saturn, especially the physical planets, they distribute a certain, they can only give a maximum point. Okay? So Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, these 7 bodies are given a maximum of a certain point. They will never go above that point or below that point. They will always give a certain point. So what am I saying here, right? You have no idea what I'm saying. It's confusing you. Well, let's make it even simpler. Let's go to my lab. Now, before we get started with our Ashtakavarga video, if you want to know what your Ashtakavarga score is, okay, how many points each individual planet is giving or the house is accumulating For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report under option 5 all the way through option 17, 18. And in the PDF report, you will have a section known as Ashtakavarga, and that will tell you what score you're receiving by each planet and total score, which I will explain here. But remember one thing carefully. I have seen different Ashtakavarga score by different softwares. What I am teaching you is number one, based on sidereal astrology, Vedic astrology. Number two, it is based off of Lahiri Ayanamsha. Number three, it is based on the calculation of Varamira, not Parashara, which is known as the ekapati reduction, is done through the calculation of Varamira, not Parashara. Because this is what I've learned through my guru, KRSchannel Rao, who learned it from his guru, the gurus of gurus. I've learned it through Marc Boney, and Marc Boney has learned it through his own guru, the gurus of guru, KRSchannel Rao. So please be careful what software you use, because I use Parashara Lite. That's the software KRSchannel Rao uses, because he figured out that this is the software giving the best results. So since then, once I found out, I've been using this. Also, the other software that I know is Sri Jyotish Star. That's another one that is giving accurate results per the manual calculations. Those two softwares that I know so far have given accurate scores. Other softwares, I have no opinion. You're free to use any software you want, okay? Because I get a lot of people who are saying, well, I'm receiving 4 points here, but I'm receiving 3 points here. Which one is correct? So I don't want to get into any of that confusion. Just whatever you find out, it's only based through what I've learned, the system that I used, the Ayanamsha that I used, okay? So let's get started. Okay, so we can't really go to the lab. Why? I can't find the remote to my the light board, and I'm gonna have to order a new adapter, because apparently either one of my daughters or somebody took my remote away, and I've looked all over the place. So we'll just improvise. Okay, so we'll go to the I'm gonna use the screen share software as well to show you, but let's look at this. So in the Ashtakavarga scheme, okay, the most points given by a planet, the most points is 56. 56 points are distributed all throughout your horoscope, and that is through Jupiter. Jupiter becomes the high. This is why Jupiter is the most benefic planet. Why is Jupiter considered the most benefic planet? Because it has the most points that the universe has given it to distribute it to each individual in their horoscope. So you know, when you accumulate, let's say you are in Aries ascendant, Jupiter is in the 12th house, and Jupiter is giving all the houses a certain points, like 4, 5, 7, 8, 0, 1. If you accumulate all of those in one single chart, Jupiter, it'll be equal to 56 for Jupiter, okay? Then you have Mercury with the second highest, 54 points. And this is why in Jaimini astrology, Jaimini Sutra, Jupiter-Mercury conjunction is the most benefic. Their mutual aspect is the most benefic. Or whenever Jupiter-Mercury aspect one single house in your particular horoscope, that house becomes the most benefic. Because Mercury holds the second highest points of 54. Then you have Venus. Venus is 52. Still great high points. Because Venus is what? Luxury. Venus is enjoyment. Okay, Venus is like fine cheese and fine wine. Then you have Moon with 49 points. You have Sun with 48 points. Mars with 39 points, and Saturn also with 39 points. But Saturn is considered lower than Mars. So the 39 points that Mars is giving and 39 points that Saturn is giving, just imagine The 39 points given by Mars is like brown, like dark brown, okay? 39 points given by Saturn is black. So it's the same score, but one is a little bit more deeper and darker than the other. So in your particular chart, where you have 12 houses, as in 12 signs, Saturn and Mars will give the lowest. Like they'll give average of like 3 points to 4. Very rarely have I seen especially Saturn give points like 7 or 8. Very rarely. The only person that I have seen Saturn giving like literally 7 points, which is almost to the max, is of Bill Gates. Saturn, I think, gives his third house 7 points. So when you accumulate all of these things, all of these points, so let's say if you added up all of these points, okay? So add up 56, 54, 52, 49, 48, 39, 39. This will equal to 337 points. So all these 7 planets equal to 337 points. And in this scheme, ascendant is not calculated, only the physical planets. Now, if you divide 337 by 7, it's around 28. So 28 becomes the average score given to a particular house, which is neither good, neither bad. It's okay. Anything below 28 is considered weak. Anything above 28, great. So that's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into looking at some charts in this first part, and we're going to see what is it that I'm talking about in the actual chart form. So you can also see it in your report. And then we're going to also discuss this one other scheme. And this is the vocabulary that I have come up with for myself, just for my own, my own understanding. And that is known as Mandhuk Ashtakavarga. So we'll discuss what Mandhuk Ashtakavarga is. I don't know if there's a term for it, but I call it Mandhuk, and I'll explain why. Okay, so let's go back to the studio or my office, pretty much. So welcome everyone to my office again, because this is the only way I can now show you by sharing the screen. So I'm gonna use, the chart of Nikola Tesla. Now, obviously, it's not guaranteed that that's his time of birth. Okay, it's online, and they're giving their educated guess if this is his, time of birth or not. However, it doesn't matter if it's his time of birth or not. I just want to show you the Ashtakavarga scheme in astrology. So his time of birth could be like 10 hours off. It doesn't matter. So let me share his chart here with you. Let's see, share screen, and here it is. So this is the Navamsha chart and the birth chart of Nikola Tesla. According to them, he's born as an Aries ascendant, okay? So when I was talking about, Jupiter here, and let me actually, hold on. Let me actually open up one more screen. One more point system here so I can go back and forth. Okay. So this is Nikola Tesla's chart. Okay, and remember when I was talking about this Ashtakavarga score, Jupiter receives the highest points, 56, Mercury 54, Venus 52, Moon 49, Sun 48, Mars 739 equals to 339 points. So let's go back to this screen. Let's go back to his Ashtakavarga. So this is Jupiter. Remember individual points from 0 to 8. So Jupiter in his entire chart is giving all these points. So if you add up 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 3, 5, 7, 3, 4, 4, 4, 6, it equals to 56 points. If you go to Saturn, the lowest, 39 points. If you add up these numbers, 5, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1, 5, 1, 5, 5, 2, this will equal to 39 points. So every single planet, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, they can only give a certain amount of points to any chart. So in your case, Jupiter may give your first house 2 points and your second house 8 points. And here's your ascendant. Ascendant itself is giving certain points from 0 to 8. So this is known as a Ashtakavarga. Now let's say you add up all the points in the third house. This is the third house. So how many points does Sun gives to the third house? 5 points. Moon gives 5 points. Mars 3 points. Mercury 5 points. Jupiter 4 points. Venus 2 points. Saturn 3 points. And the ascendant 7 points. When you add all these points together, this is known as Samudya Ashtakavarga, right there. These are all the total points that all the planets are giving. So these are the accumulated points of all the 7 planets and your ascendant itself. So remember, 28 becomes the average. Above 28 is excellent. So look at him. His ascendant receives 38 points. His 11th house receives 35 points. 10th house receives 32 points. 7th house 29 points. 4th house 31 points. So all the points above 28 points becomes very good in Ashtakavarga scheme. Below 28 is below average. So 9th house receives 22 points. 2nd house receives 19 points. 5th house represents 24 points. And 6th house is 26 points. So these are the accumulated points. Now, one thing you also have to remember in Ashtakavarga, the scheme that I have learned from Marc Boney and obviously KRSchannel Rao is that 11th from any house, or especially 11th from any planet, when it gets high points, above either the average of 28 points, the accumulated points 28, or any individual planets that gives more than 5 points, it gives recognition, achievements, awards. So 11th from itself, 11th from any house, 11th from any planet in Ashtakavarga scheme is always looked at, especially if you're trying to find out if this person is going to find success or not. So if you receive, let's say, 35 points, that's great. If you receive 19 points, not so great. Okay, so let's go back to our share screen. We'll go back to Nicholas Tesla's horoscope. So this is his ascendant, right? Aries ascendant, right there, Aries. 11th house is right there. Guess how many points it receives? 35 points. Great. And remember, Nicholas Tesla was actually worth $100 million, equivalent to these days. He was worth like $300-400 million, even though he lost it all, which is another case that we'll discuss in his horoscope one day. But great. Now, the other thing that you want to also see is that 10th house should receive lower points than 11th house. Because if this is your work, right? This is where you're working, you're putting your effort, working. Well, what is the results of that? It's the 11th house. Well, if you have higher points than the 10th house, that means your fruits of your labor will be great. If let's say you have 32 here and only 29 here, then you'll put more work in to get very little recognition, achievements, and awards. So this is one thing that you have to always study in Ashtakavarga. Now, before you jump in your own horoscope and you're like, yep, I saw my 11th house, man, it is horrible, 19 points. Well, let me show you another chart here, okay? And I apologize for this person who is already, who's living. And I don't like using charts of people who are living, but I've used their chart before, but I apologize for this. But I'm going to be using Bill Gates' chart just to make everybody feel happy. Okay, so let's share screen. This is Bill Gates' chart. We'll go to his Ashtakavarga. Okay, these are all the points. Remember Saturn? I was saying Saturn, I've hardly ever seen Saturn giving more than 5 points. Bill Gates receives 7 points into the third house of efforts, communication. Okay, but let's go to his Samudya Ashtakavarga. Look at all the accumulated points of this billionaire, the richest man on this planet. Where's the 11th house? That's the 11th house. Guess how many receives? 27 points. Oh my God. He is so poor. Doesn't have gains. So you see what happens when you study your Ashtakavarga immaturely, you will probably go nuts. If you saw this in your own chart. Oh my God, I've only have 27 points. What in the hell is going on? Well, in this case, when you are looking at Ashtakavarga, always remember to not make the mistake of looking at your Ashtakavarga score from the ascendant alone. You will make all the wrong predictions and analysis if you're using Ashtakavarga. So now the question becomes, what is it that you need to look for Ashtakavarga? Well, there's several things. Number one, the ascendant, right? That I just showed you. Nikola Tesla, great. Bill Gates, meow. Second, look at it from Arudha Lagna. The alternative ascendant in Vedic astrology known as Arudha Lagna, and I've made a video on this. Number three, judge your Ashtakavarga from each dasha lord. You know Mahadashas in Vedic astrology? It's a planetary time-based system which everybody's running through. Even the ant on the ground is running through a certain dasha system. So if, let's say, you're running through the dasha of Venus, from your ascendant, you're a Taurus ascendant, 11th from Taurus is the sign of Pisces. And let's say Pisces received 19 points. And then you have Venus Mahadasha running. Venus is in the 4th house. And when Venus Mahadasha ran, you became a multi-millionaire. Well, guess why? Because what is 11th from Venus? The 2nd house. Perhaps your 2nd house was receiving 42 points, 35 points. So, knowing this, look at Bill Gates. Okay, this is his Bill Gates chart. Let's go back to his Samudya Ashtakavarga. Venus is right here, right? 20-year time period of Venus was running from 1982 to 2002. Guess what is 11th from Venus? The 3rd house. And guess how many points it has? 36. And guess what Bill Gates' Arudha Lagna is? Bill Gates' Arudha Lagna is the 7th house. Guess what's 11th from the Arudha Lagna? Very weak, 11th house. Okay, very, very weak. But then guess what is 11th from the ascendant lord of Bill Gates? 35 points. Oh, Then which planet is the most benefic planet that I mentioned? Jupiter. Jupiter for Bill Gates is in the 3rd house. What is 11th from Jupiter? The ascendant. How many points? 36 points. Oh! Okay. God, these stupid sounds that I'm doing, man. So don't judge the scenario of wealth looking at 11th from the ascendant, but look at it from every single point of view. Every single planet, Daruta Lagna, Karakamsha Lagna, from every planet, including Jupiter, the planet that gives the highest benefic points, look 11th from it. But this is not the end either, okay? There's a little advanced layer to this, which I will share in part 2 or part 3. But you also have to remember one thing, is that first, something has to be promised in your chart. If it's not promised in your chart, I don't care how many points you have in Ashtakavarga, it's not going to do anything. So Ashtakavarga is just the, remember what I said in the beginning of the video. It is the final signature by universe. Like you have your report ready, okay? Planets are bringing this report to universe. Okay, this is Kapiel Raaj, and this is his profile. He's going to be born on this day and this time. Can you please sign off? Universe looks at it. Okay. Sign. All right. Give him birth. This is how it happens. So where's the first thing you have to do? What is the thing you have to see? What is promised? So when it comes to wealth, is wealth promised? How is wealth promised? Do you have a Dhan Yoga? That's number one. Now, I have seen Dhan Yogas in many people's chart who are suffering financially. Just first look for is Dhan Yoga present in the birth chart. Number one. Number two, what dasha or this individual is running? If the dasha is not showing the activation of wealth, you're not going to receive wealth. And believe me, everybody has wealth. Wealth simply means money, right? So you could be making 20,000 rupees a month, or you could be making 50 lakhs a month. It's still wealth coming in. But what we're talking about, huge amounts of wealth. That's what we're talking about. Millionaires, billionaires, everybody wants to be, right? For that, you have to see the Dhan Yoga. Is it present? Number one. Number two, what is the dignity of that Dhan Yoga? So Dhan Yoga is happening between, let's say, Moon and Mars. How strong are they? Do they have directional strength? Do they have sign strength? You know, then you also have to see what yoga is Moon and Mars are forming in your D2 chart. And I'm talking about D2 a year chart, which gives you, it's pretty much like a normal chart. You have to see the Dhan Yoga of the birth chart being created. How is it in D2 a year chart? Then the third thing that you have to see is known as Indu Lagna. And these are some of the things that I don't mention because I don't want to, I look at it, but I don't tell people that. So most of the time I see that it's not going to be happening for a long time or it's not going to happen. So look at Indu Lagna. What is Indu Lagna? Indu Lagna is an alternative ascendant, which tells you about the wealth prospect and which particular planet is going to bring in wealth. It's a very simple thing. One day I will try to make it. It's a bit complicated. I rather just look at it in the software and that's it. I don't want to do any calculations. So when you run the dasha of the planet, which is your Indu Lagna, or second from Indu Lagna, or 11th from Indu Lagna, wealth comes in. So now we accumulated all this information, right? I'm looking at your chart. You got a Dhan Yoga, number one. Dhan Yoga dignity is good, number two. Dhan Yoga is present in a year chart. Then Dhan Yoga, or the planet that is giving a Dhan Yoga, is also the Lagna, the ascendant or the second lord of your Indu Lagna. Okay, I'm like, all right, this person is supposed to receive wealth. They're supposed to receive wealth at 24, man. All right, now I look at Ashtakavarga. Ashtakavarga says 19 points, 11th from that particular planet. Now I know, okay, so they have the promise of wealth, but instead of this much wealth, they're going to get this much wealth. That's how you study Ashtakavarga. Now let's reverse the scenario. No indication of wealth, or let's say Dhan Yoga is present. Fine. You're going through the dasha of the Dhan Yoga, Lord, fine. Also, the Dhan Yoga planet is Avayogi planet. Fine. But maybe it's not your Hindu Lagna. Maybe it's nowhere near being the wealth giver planet according to Hindu Lagna ascendant. However, 11th from your Mahadasha Lord, you have 38 points. 38 points. What do you see then? Then what I see here is that wealth is promised. Okay, wealth is there, but you'll have to work absolutely hard to get that wealth. It's not going to come easy to you. Like, for example, in Bill Gates' chart, if you look at his Hindu Lagna, okay, one of the alternative ascendant, why am I blur? Alternative ascendant, you look at Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all the billionaire Warren Buffett's, the Hindu Lagna somehow became active. Okay. And 11th from Bill Gates' chart from Venus was 35 points. Beautiful. Venus was in its own sign, the strength of Dhan Yoga. Okay. So Venus was its own sign, creating a Raj Yoga or Lakshmi Yoga with Saturn, the ninth Lord. So you see the yoga is there. The yoga is there, the Hindu Lagna is there, everything is there. And then the Ashtakavarga score was like a cherry on cake, that stamp, that signature by universe. All right, yeah, go live your life. Because what did Bill Gates do? He created a software once, and from there, residual income. Residual income. Up to this minute, there's a website that shows how much Bill Gates is making a minute. I think it's like $10,000 a minute he's making. 10 or I think it's probably up to $20,000 now. He doesn't have to do anything. And this is also another thing. Raj yogas or Dhan yogas, sometimes they have like a time span. Okay, somebody has a Raj yoga for only 2 years. Somebody has for 5 years. Somebody has for 6 years. And then they go back to their normal pace. Certain Raj yogas, certain Dhan yogas, once they get activated, regardless of what time you run in through, whether it's good dasha, average dasha, bad Ashtakavarga, bad transit, good transit, the wealth keeps coming in. So which one of these yogas are there? Well, that is when you look into Jaimani yogas. Jaimani yogas and looking at your Arudha Lagna. If you look at the Arudha Lagna, if you have planets 2nd, 4th, 7th, and 11th from your Arudha Lagna, benefic planets. Benefic meaning Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Moon. When you have benefic planets in these houses, and when their Dhan Yoga becomes active, that's it for life. Then this person is going to keep getting wealth once it's activated. So this is how you gotta like use your brain within like 30 seconds. You have to look at all of these things to see if the wealth is coming in, what is happening, what is not. Now, let's talk about another concept in Ashtakavarga. And let me see if I have a chart of this person. I don't think I do. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, their chart is available. So let's do this. I'll put their chart up. They're born in August. 1955. And they're born in Mumbai. And then let's see, they're born. I think that's it. Is that it? Okay, I guess one more hour. Or maybe one more hour. Okay, now I think I got it. Let's see their Ashtakavarga. I just want to make sure that it has it. Oh, yeah, okay. It does. Okay, so let's talk about our next concept known as Mandhuk Ashtakavarga. So the Mandhuk term comes from this dasha that K.N. Rao wrote his book on. It's called Mandhuk Dasha. I have it. I just don't know if I can find out. You guys really don't need to see it. It's one of the dashas in astrology, Mandhuk Dasha. But what Mandhuk means, it means frog's leap. Okay, frog's leap. Meaning, you know how frog is sitting, and then it jumps to the other end, far end. That's a frog's leap, Mandhuk. And in India, frog meaning mendak. So Mandhuk. Mandhuk Dasha means, or I'm sorry, Mandhuk Ashtakavarga, the term that I've come up with for myself, meaning that is this person going to take a slow and steady rise in life, or is this going to be a Mandhuk, meaning frog's leap, rack to riches, 0 to 100. So the best example I remember is from my teacher, Marc Boney, who showed the horoscope of Rajiv Gandhi. Okay, so this is Rajiv Gandhi's horoscope. Wow, this is the first time I'm looking at his Navamsha. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Wow, amazing Navamsha. So let's look at his Ashtakavarga, meaning his Sarvashtakavarga, the accumulated points. So look at the leaps and bounds. First of all, 11th house receives higher points than the 10th house, which means that fruits of his labor will be recognized and rewarded. But look at the Mandhuk that is happening. It's going from 42 points all the way down to 23 points. Now, one thing I don't think this is the right. I think there was even a bigger leap. In his particular case, there was a bigger leap. I don't think this is his right time of birth. I just want to make sure. 634. I don't know if that's going to make any difference. Let's see. I thought he had a 50 points jump. Okay, I guess he doesn't. So let's go back to Rajiv Gandhi's chart. And as you all know, Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated through a bomb blast. So he was at the height of his career and boom, gone. So you see, he took a frog's leap from a high point of 42 to low point of 23. Literally a 20-point difference, 19-point difference. I don't know, for some reason I thought that his chart had 50 points of leap, but apparently it doesn't. So it goes from 42 points down to 23. Now imagine, let's say this was 19, okay, 19 points in your career house, but then the 11th house was 48, 49, 26, 27-point difference. Well, what this will show, it's a Mandhuk, meaning you're going from an average career, being a secretary, being an administrative assistant, just doing labor-like work, to boom, becoming a multi-millionaire CEO of some company. This could simply also mean lottery winning. There are sequence of this Mandhuk sequence where there could be sudden leap to winning lottery, rack to riches. This is the Mandhuk leap. Now, the other thing that we also study from Ashtakavarga is this. So let's share the screen again. Just these points that you receive in Ashtakavarga can show us the strong and weaker points. Like, for example, your ascendant, this is your ascendant, your first house. This is your body. Your ascendant should always have higher points compared to your sixth house of illnesses and diseases. Why? Because you do not want the sixth house of diseases to defeat the house of your health. That's number one. That's one of the ways you study Ashtakavarga. Other ways we also see is that the second house is a house of wealth. Okay? Your house of wealth, like the things that you save, the saved money in the bank, these points should not be lower than these points. Your 12th house, which is a house of losses and expenses, should not be higher than the second house of money. What does this show? This shows that you're saving far less because you're spending too much in expenses, bills, debts. So this shows us the overall of what's happening. This shows us the relationships you have. How's your relationship with the mother? How's your relationship with the father? Your elder sibling, your younger sibling, your children. Now, obviously, you must be thinking, oh man, 26 points below average. I have 19 points. I will not get married. I will not have a happy married life. Again, you need to follow system. Because I know what you're thinking right now, looking at the seventh house of Rajiv Gandhi's, 28 points. Oh my God, I have 22 points in my report. I'm never going to be happy in marriage. I can show you Bill Gates' chart again. His seventh house receives very low points. He's been married since 1992 to Melinda Gates. Why? First, is there a yoga for long-lasting marriage or a short marriage? Number two, don't just look at the Ashtakavarga seventh from your ascendant. Look at the Ashtakavarga seventh from Venus and seventh from your seventh lord. So if you're a Taurus ascendant, who's ruled your seventh house? Mars. So look at the Ashtakavarga of the seventh house, seventh from Venus and seventh from Mars if you're a Taurus ascendant. That's also not the end all and be all of determining marriage Ashtakavarga, the quality of your marriage. I'm going to discuss that in the second or third part if I get the chance. So you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. But today's lesson was simply to show you how to read this little numbering thing of Ashtakavarga on the basic level. Next week, we're going to go into a little bit deeper, more detail-oriented analysis of Ashtakavarga. Till that time, just watch this video again, study the report and the Ashtakavarga score within your report. But please remember, because I know I'm gonna get emails and I'm going to get the comments. My Ashtakavarga is showing this, and then your chart is showing this, and this is this. I don't want to go deep into it. I just only follow what I have learned and the system that I've learned from my teacher Marc Boney, his guru Kapiel Raaj. I use Lahari Ainamsha, Sidereal Astrology, and I use the Parashara Light software or the Sri Jyotish Star software. I have seen them both simultaneously give exact same score. Some other softwares have given completely different score. So in case if you see your chart from some other software and it gives, let's say, 18 points, and then from Parashara Lights it's giving 24 points, that's a big jump. That's a big difference. So please remember that before you tell me about different things happening, okay? So let's meet next week here. So as you witnessed, this was the very basic, very first foundational video of Ashtakavarga. In the next video, the part 2, which I'll make maybe in a week, I want to see what your questions and concerns are in this video, and I'll try to answer that in maybe a live video. But I'll make that next week, and then the next week video we'll discuss something known as Kakshaya slot and how does Kakshaya slot works. And we'll also discuss how do you actually use this Ashtakavarga scheme in transit. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you can see my part 2, part 3. If you want to know what your Ashtakavarga score is, I don't know if you want to, or if you want to get my books, reports, consultations, for that check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.